Hello friends, the clash that took place in Delhi between the lawyers and the police has given rise to so many questions. I'll not go into the conduct of the lawyers in molesting and beating up, especially a woman police officer. But yes, I'd like to talk about rights of the police to protest, as also form unions and associations. Besides their right, which should be guaranteed to them, human rights, in fact, human dignity, in fact. So I came out with this article in a national daily, the Tribune, which is circulated mostly in North India and is one of the opinion makers in the media. So I'll read out what I've written: cops' human rights and their right to protest. Well, I was then in Ryton Police Academy in the UK on an official assignment when I came across an officer who had his full arm tattooed. To my query if the police officers were allowed such adornments, the Chief Constable of Midlands, who too was present, informed, yes, it is their human right and we don't deny them. Before addressing the human rights issue of the police, let me throw some light on the genesis and causes of the lawyer-police clash that took place on Tuesday last in the national capital, New Delhi. Well, it was in fact brewing since long. Although such lawyer-police clashes keep happening routinely in the country, what was unprecedented this time was rising in revolt by the Delhi police rank and file, having a feeling of having been wronged, insulted, assaulted, and perpetually kept at bay with a triggering feel of enough is enough. Conduct rules in any uniformed organization do not entitle its men or women to go on strike or protest. It's not legal for them, for the uniformed workers to form unions. In fact, such a coming together is considered to be prejudicial to the internal security, amounting to nothing less than a rebellion. In West Bengal, police unions were allowed by the communist regime, but Mamata Banerjee disbanded and banned them. Union in itself sounds a tad rash and harsh for any assembly of uniformed people pressing for their rights. In Haryana too, the murmur of a police union had begun to be heard when it was crushed in early 80s. Bansi Lal, in a bid to come back to power, gave many slogans including recognition of the police union in Haryana. However, a Haryana Police Association was then allowed to be formed. It is still working, though with nothing much to boast about insofar as addressing grievances of the police personnel like shift systems, exploitation, duty hours, working conditions, seniority, transfers, leave, etc., etc. The common grouse of policemen in this country is that compared to any other government department or positions, their status and recognition always has a beating, and that they are made scapegoats to broker peace under public pressure after an incident or an outcry. Even the brightest of the police officers have to bear the brunt of an appeasing offer of platitudes by the respective governments. It's a matter of record that the present DGP of Haryana, Mr. Manoj Yadav, was slapped a murder case on when he was ASP at Rohtak, only to assuage the protesting villagers of a couple of criminals who had died in an encounter with police at Karawar village. Another officer, Mr. Subhash Yadav, who took on an unruly and violent mob and opened fire in Jat agitation at village Mayyar in Hisar district, was undeservedly placed under suspension to pacify the agitators. Yet another officer, Mr. Shrikant Jadhav, was suspended after February 2016 Jat agitation in Rohtak. All these officers, though, came clean later, yet the morale of the rank and file in Haryana police plummeted to the lowest ebb. It should be a matter of record that maximum number of departmental action is taken only in police department. The issues include inter alia, indiscipline, misbehavior, dishonesty, code strictures, incompetence, omissions, commissions, slackness, high-handedness, custodial crimes, even to the extent of not wearing a proper uniform. Are all such defaulters available only in the police department? In all such departmental actions, the principle to be followed is not that of hard proof, but preponderance of probability. This leaves scope for them not getting real and deserved justice. Now I come to human rights for the police. In the Western countries, all jobs, whether provided by the state or private enterprises, address issues of employees' health and safety. This writer, in 34 years of his service, has seen the police officials lifting, digging out, flushing out of waters, retrieving from fires, putrefied and decomposed dead bodies with their bare hands, without even gloves or other protective gear. A thankless and unpleasant task which is not their job but only that of paramedics or other trained professionals. At such scenes, even the near and dear ones of the deceased stand at a distance with their noses covered. I recall an incident of 1995 when a live bomb was detected at Sandal Kala railway station in Sonipat district. 4 serial blasts had then taken place in Delhi and elsewhere on that day, and it was only in Sandal Kala that a live bomb was diffused. Before we all could arrive on the scene, a burly head constable had lifted the bomb in his own hands and kept it under sandbags. Does this police official not have a right against such risks? Human dignity in all its nuances has been recognized as one of the essential ingredients of human rights all the world over. But for the Indian police, it still eludes them in more than one ways. The army has done well to abolish the orderly system, recognizing the dignity and esteem of their junior colleagues. Of course, now they call them sevaks. And this is not just a change of appellation or calling or a name nomenclature. The officers do behave nicely with them, but in the police this is yet to be done. That is precisely why a police official doesn't take pride in his uniform. Last but not the least important is the fact that there exists a disconnect between the senior officers and the junior police officials in the police force. The Delhi incident proved in ample measures. In the army, the institution of a Subedar is roped in as an important link between the troops and the officers. In police, there is none who ensures that senior police officers take good care of their subordinates. Interestingly, the Delhi incident has shown that neither the police nor the lawyers found any support from the general public, there being huge trust deficit on either sides. Thank you very much for watching this video.